All right, so if you're in cybersecurity, chances are you've got a training lab, right? But let's be real. Is that lab a finely tuned learning machine, or is it more of a digital junk drawer full of VMs and scattered notes? Well, today, we're going to talk about how to transform that chaos into a powerful, organized learning tool, what our source material calls a vulnerable machine encyclopedia.
I mean, does this sound familiar? Because I know I've been there. This quote it hits home, right? It's that 2 a.m. frustration, that feeling of drowning in your own study materials. But you know what? That moment of desperation is often where the real breakthrough happens.
And that right there is the core problem we're digging into. It's not just about being messy, you know? All that digital clutter, the random ISOs, the boxes you started but never finished, it all has a very real cost. It's eating away at your most valuable resources, your time, your money, and maybe most importantly, your sanity. That's energy you should be using to level up your career, not just trying to find your own notes.
Okay, so let's just call it what it is. Section 1. Your lab is a mess. Hey, admitting you have a problem is the first step, right?
And I bet these symptoms on screen look pretty familiar. You're jumping between Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, VulnHub with no real plan. Your notes are a complete disaster. Yeah, we've all got that new folder 4 somewhere on our desktop. You're shelling out cash for subscriptions you barely even touch. And maybe the worst part, you keep relearning the basics because nothing is sequenced, which means you're stuck, not moving on to the cool, advanced stuff that actually gets you ahead.
All right, enough doom and gloom about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. This is the aha moment. The whole idea is to completely reframe how you think about your lab. It's not just a random collection of stuff. It's an encyclopedia.
So what exactly is a vulnerable machine encyclopedia? Look, it's not about hoarding more VMs. It's a system, a living, breathing library where every single machine has a clear purpose. It's tagged, it's documented, and it's all designed to answer that one critical question you have at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night. What is the right next box for me to work on right now? And this comparison here just lays it all out, plain and simple. On one side, you've got the chaos lab, random ISOs, scattered notes, wasted time. And on the other, the encyclopedia. Clear goals, sequenced paths, documented skills. You're basically trading all that guesswork and frustration for focus and efficiency. I mean, the difference is night and day.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing in theory, but how do you actually do it? Well, the source breaks it down into this really practical framework it calls the 3 pillars of lab sanity. Let's dig into them. Pillar number 1 is all about mindset, and it starts with this super important question. Why? Why are you even building this thing in the first place? Seriously, who is it for? Are you studying for the OSCP? Are you trying to train a junior teammate? Is it just for you to sharpen a specific skill? Answering that question first stops you from just collecting a bunch of shiny new VMs that look cool but don't actually get you any closer to your goal.
And this table here is a fantastic reality check. Because let's be honest, building your own lab isn't the right move for everybody. If you're already dropping, say, over $60 a month on platforms and you really need custom setups, then yeah, building a lab could be a huge win. But if you've got a huge exam coming up in like less than 90 days, or you just flat out hate doing system maintenance, sticking with those managed platforms is probably the smarter, saner choice. You gotta be honest with yourself here.
Okay, pillar number 2 is design, and I gotta say, I absolutely love this concept. The idea is design for feelings, not just for skills. Think about it. We've all been there, right? Totally frustrated, exhausted, completely burned out. A well-designed lab actually takes that into account. And this is exactly how you do it. You tag your machines not just by the technical skill like Linux Privesc, but by emotion and the time it's going to take. So maybe on a Monday night, you just want a quick 30-minute chill box to warm up. But on Saturday afternoon, you're ready to dive into a brutal multi-hour challenge. This simple tagging system lets you match a machine to your actual energy level, and that is a total game changer for staying consistent.
And that brings us to the third and final pillar, management. Because let's face it, this hobby can get seriously expensive really fast if you're not paying attention. So yeah, it's time to talk about the money.
$900. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's what you could be spending per year on a cloud lab if you just leave your virtual machines running all the time. It's a pretty shocking number, and it really shows you the hidden cost of just not paying attention.
But this comparison table really breaks it down for us. You can see that always-on Cloud Lab is way more expensive than anything else. But look at that third line, a Cloud Lab with strict schedules. Just by being disciplined and shutting down machines when you're not using them, you could cut your costs by more than half. That's what smart management looks like.
Okay, so at this point, you get the problem, you get the philosophy behind the solution. Now it's time to get practical. Let's make this happen. Here is a 7-day starter plan to build your very first mini encyclopedia. And yeah, you can start this week.
And look, this plan is totally achievable. This isn't about building some massive, overwhelming library in one weekend. It's all about taking small, intentional steps. Day 1, figure out your why. Day 2, look at what you've got and just pick 5 machines, a couple of chill ones, a couple spicy, and one brutal one to challenge you. By day 4, you're tagging and documenting them. Day 5, build a super simple index, a wiki, a markdown file, anything searchable works. And then on day 7, the most important step, share it. Ask a friend to try it out and tell you what's confusing. That's it. You can totally do this in a week.
So please, don't get overwhelmed by this idea of building a huge library. The key is to start small. 5 really intentional, well-documented machines are worth so much more than 50 random ones you've just downloaded. Remember this, purpose beats volume, every single time.
And that really brings us to the final question we want to leave you with. As you move forward from here, think about the next time you add a machine to your lab. Are you just going to grab another shiny new object that someone posted online, or are you going to thoughtfully add another page to your book? The choice, as they say, is yours.